Welcome back to 100 Days and Beyond. I'm Dudley Peacock. This is episode 10, the final episode of week 2. This week we have talked about diagnosis, how to name the constraint that is actually blocking you, the QDOAA framework for deciding what to change first, the 3-checkpoint model for measuring whether the transformation is working, and yesterday, the hypercare trap, which is the biggest source of lost value in the industry. Today, I want to close the week by turning the lens around. Instead of talking about how to run a transformation, I want to talk about how to choose the partner who runs it with you. Because in 12 years of doing this work, I have learned that serious buyers choose in a specific order. Chemistry first, credentials second, case studies third. And if the sales pitch you are sitting through has got that order wrong, you are being sold to by somebody who does not understand how real decisions are made. Let me walk you through it. Chemistry is the first filter and the most important one. When you are about to spend £50,000 or £200,000 or £500,000 on a transformation that will affect how your business runs for the next 5 years, the first thing you are deciding is whether you can stand to be in a room with these people for the next 12 months. Chemistry is not about being likable. It is about trust under pressure. Can this person tell me I am wrong? Can they push back on a requirement I have decided on without making me feel stupid? Do they listen before they speak? Do they seem to understand the kind of business I run, or are they reading from a playbook? The chemistry check happens in the first 2 meetings, and most vendors fail it by over-preparing. They come in with a polished deck. They run through their methodology. They have an answer for every question. That is a red flag. The right conversation in a first meeting is 90% listening. If the vendor is doing most of the talking, they are not diagnosing your business. They are selling you theirs. I do not even send decks to a first meeting. I come with a blank notebook and a list of questions. I want to understand what constraint you are actually hitting before I say a word about what we do. By the end of the meeting, the prospect usually knows their own problem better than they did when they walked in, and that is the chemistry signal they need. Credentials come second because they only matter once chemistry has been established. A prospect who is not sure whether they can work with you will not be swayed by your qualifications. A prospect who has decided they want to work with you will use your credentials to justify the decision. Credentials are not certifications. They are not awards. They are not the logos on your website. Credentials are the specific, verifiable answers to 3 questions. How long have you been doing this exact work? Who else in my industry have you done it for? And what depth of knowledge have you got about the specific technologies I am evaluating? For Q&A ERP solutions, the answers are concrete. 12 years of ERP implementation, 5 named sectors where we have done multi-entity consolidations in the last 3 years, certified and working experience across Sage X3, Acumatica, Odoo, and SAP Business One. Those answers take 30 seconds to give, and they tell the buyer that we are not guessing. If a vendor cannot give you that level of specificity in 30 seconds, you are talking to a generalist who will learn your problem on your budget. Case studies are third because they are the final step in the trust ladder. By the time you are looking at a case study, you have already decided the chemistry works and the credentials are adequate. The case study is what you use to justify the decision to the people who were not in the room when you made it. A proper case study is specific, named client, named industry, named challenge, named result, named duration. Vague case studies are useless. If a vendor shows you a case study that says, we helped a leading manufacturer reduce costs by 20%, ask them who the manufacturer was and whether you can speak to the CFO. If the answer is no, the case study is marketing copy, not proof. At Q&A ERP Solutions, we keep a short list of 5 named clients who are happy to take a call from a prospect, not a testimonial on a website, an actual phone call with the client's CFO or operations director. That is the gold standard. And it is what every serious buyer should ask for before signing a contract of any meaningful size. Here is why the order is not optional. If you lead with case studies, you are asking the buyer to believe you before they trust you, and they will not. They will pick holes in every claim because they do not yet know whether you are the kind of firm that tells the truth about what went wrong as well as what went right. If you lead with credentials, you are asking to be judged on paper before you have been met as a person, and you will lose to the vendor who is less qualified but warmer in the first meeting. You have to go in the right order. Establish that this is a person or a team you can work with. Then provide the proof that you have done this work before. Then close with the specific evidence of what happened when you did it. And if you are a buyer reading this in reverse, sitting in a pitch where the vendor opened with their biggest logo and spent the meeting talking at you, that is the signal to politely end the meeting and look for somebody who knows how trust actually gets built.